social and intellectual background with respect to the emergence of rational society. Now, we look into this society or the system when we find a major emphasis on scientific approach. So by the dawn of the 19th century, we see the scientific method has taken its roots with respect to the understanding of the phenomenon. We see lots of advances in the natural sciences, in the physical sciences, and we see these developments in physics, astronomy, biological sciences. At the same time, we also see lots of technological changes in the society as an outcome of the Industrial Revolution. Now, we see at this time that we try to explain things scientifically. And when we talk about scientifically, again, things start with evidence, they start with the logical kind of explanations, and they want to study the realities by using the scientific approach. Now, whatever is the scientific approach, that is something like which we look into the area of research, how to do the study, how to do the analysis by using the sensory kind of experiences. So we see that why it is needed because of the changes in the society, like the social changes, the economic changes, the political changes. Now, these changes brought in new situations. Different people came together, working in the factories. Some people thought that they were being exploited. Others were making huge kind of profits. Now, because of these kind of situations, we find various, let's say, movements as well. So how to study these kind of things, I think at that time, scientific approach was more important to understand what it is, and also explain why is it and what could be its implications. So scientific mentality was the pervasive kind of approach which actually gave some kind of, let's say, impetus, a stimulus for sociology. And they also tried to adopt the same kind of approach to study the realities as it was being followed by the natural sciences. So we see that try to explain transformation of society from different angles. Why some people became richer and richer, why majority worked for long hours, and those who worked for long hours, where do they live, and what are their issues, what are their problems. Problems could be related to health, education, living, sanitation, could be variety of things. Migration, who migrates, they bring different cultures, there could be some cultural conflicts, also different kind of people coming together with let's say, variety of customs, norms. So we see that the physical condition, change in the physical conditions, change in the thinking of the people, change in their relationships as well. So these changes needed explanations, these changes needed understanding. So why the things are taking place? So idea was to explain things rationally. So whatever is happening in the society, it must be having a reason for that. So rationalization or studying things based on the reasoning was the, I think, pervasive kind of approach Now, this could be considered as part of the, let's say, scientific approach. Now, this following scientific approach to explain the realities. So we see that the challenges are there, and these challenges have to be looked into. So the whole society follows this kind of approach, and people think of this kind of society as a rational society, not necessarily based on traditions. Although, if we say that somebody is trying to follow the traditions, well, that person might be having his or her own rationality. But the idea is that do people provide reason for whatever is the situation over there? So that is how we see that it gave impetus to study the realities scientifically on the basis of reason, and the whole approach becomes rational, and maybe people try to consider such kind of a society where this approach is going on, call it as a rational society.